Want some tips on introverts? Great students, we're talking A+, always in a hurry to go home after lectures. Reject advances if they're not confident or good enough for their standard. You know what they say about enjoying your teenage years while you still can, cause it's never coming back. Yeah, Hori completely ignores that information. She's so strict about her schedule that she even ignores invitations to hang out with her friends. She's also known to be quite sensitive after being upset by Yasura's comment on her tiny bosoms. Don't worry, Hori. We all love women, no matter the color, size, or shape they come in. Hori takes her responsibilities as an older sister very seriously. So much that without her uniform, she kinda looks like a teenage mom. From a baddie to a nanny. The one person Hori gets to spend time with is a boy from her class, Miyamura, who's almost invisible to everyone in class, yet is a completely different person outside school. They become closer one time when Miyamura returns Soda home after an injury. Hori's intrigued by Miyamura's personality, noticing similarities between them as they were both different people outside school. So much that one day when one of Hori's friends catches a glimpse of Miyamura at a grocery store after school, and a bit triggered that someone else got to see this side of him. However, Miyamura also confesses to feeling the same way about Hori's at-home hair, clothing, and being mummy attitude. So basically, the whole class begins to get curious about Hori and Miyamura's closeness. Yeah, also pushing Ishikawa, who has a massive crush on Hori, to the brink of jealousy. Both of them talk out their issues as men, and in between the little conversation, Ishikawa gets to see a glimpse of Miyamura's cool side. For the rest of the day, Miyamura avoids Hori in respect of Ishikawa's feelings. He knows that if Hori accepts Ishikawa's proposal, they'd have to see each other less often. That evening, he babysits Sota when Hori arrives home. Pissed. Seems Ishikawa had been a donkey, disclosing details of this conversation with Miyamura to Hori. Lesson 101 on how to get the girl. Don't be an Ishikawa. Miyamura simply explains that he made the comment about not being her type because he feels Hori was too good for him. Hori informs him that she turned down Ishikawa's proposal, and in an interesting way, expresses her fondness for Miyamura. Weeks go by, and the recent improvement in Hori and Miyamura's friendship has Hori freaking out. She actually had no idea of his first name. She even goes as far as peeping the boys' changing room in hopes someone would mention it. That's a -1 for reputation. And she gets heavily disappointed. Suddenly, Hori gets a brilliant idea to acquire the name through her mom, who had been dying to meet Miyamura. Unfortunately for Hori, she misses her mom just before she leaves for work, and is more distraught finding out her mother figured the name she'd been working so hard to find. Of course, Miyamura and Sota laugh hysterically at the reason for Hori's frustration. Yet in the end, Miyamura exchanges first names with Hori. At school, Hori's friends notice the students' council has been dumping their work on Hori's desk with absolutely no credit for it. So much that she gets blamed and humiliated for missing paperwork by the council president, Sengoku. Just then, Miyamura arrives in awesome superhero mode. He provides the papers that went missing under the real culprit's watch, Ayasaki, who happened to be Sengoku's girlfriend. Spring break arrives, and I wonder why the kids cared more about being in the same class than their grades in the previous school year. And it's Hori's birthday, of course. The scene where Miyamura gives her a CD of his favorite songs is a beautiful sight to behold. Fortunately, the new school year brings the 4-for-all team, Ishikawa, Yuki, Hori, and Miyamura, together in the same class. And everyone is excited except the pretty boy Miyamura. Okay, so it may seem that Miyamura doesn't understand the concept of friendship. After all, he'd always been the awkward kid and last wheeler in every class. On the rooftop, Miyamura asks Ishikawa what he thinks of him as a person. Well, the conversation gets somewhat serious between them, Miyamura's weirdness mixed with Ishikawa's outspoken nature. However, leading their friendship to an awkward spin. But on firmer soil, it's a fine early morning for Hori, and the devil just sends a pink-haired demon to spoil her mood. Ayasaki's sudden visit is solely because she's curious about Hori's relationship with Miyamura, and wishes to have him for herself. Hori doesn't back down without a fight. Scenes where Hori and Ayasaki stake claims on Miyamura like he was some sort of Barbie doll was funny to watch, not gonna lie. In the end, Hori drowns in embarrassment, knowing fully well that Miyamura isn't hers to keep. Things become pretty awkward for Hori as the days go by. So much that being alone in the room with him becomes too hot to handle, that she accidentally blurts out the words, "I love you." Unfortunately, homegirl isn't that brave. She contradicts her confession with, "I love your hands" instead. Tension brews in the friendship circle when Miyamura and Ishikawa show up at school with bruised faces after they got into a fistfight. It is revealed that Ishikawa eavesdropped on Ayasaki's trick confession to Hori, and while he tries to convince Miyamura of Hori's feelings, they ended up kissing each other's cheeks. Not butt cheeks. Please. The cause of the fight, Hori, is however kept in the dark about the issue. And on the other hand, yes, the boys do settle their differences. Next up, Sengoku invites Miyamura and Ishikawa to chill in the students' council room, and they tag along with a few friends. Actually, they tag along with a full squad. After a game of rock, paper, scissors, the losing team, Miyamura and Hori, head out to get drinks for everyone, which was totally a bad idea because they spent triple the expected time, while Sakura takes pleasure to raise Ishikawa's anxiety about the two. During their private study, Hori wonders if she had the same effect on Miyamura, considering he never gets flustered or embarrassed around her. On the contrary, Miyamura recounts a time he got embarrassed when an old friend of his referred to Hori as his girlfriend. It's crazy how he sees Shindo with Hori the next time he takes a hike, and Miyamura dashes towards Shindo in a stay away from my girl kind of way. In the end, Miyamura hangs out with a few people who make his school year worth it, and soon, Hori breaks down with a fever that has her hallucinating about her mom leaving. In a sweet moment, she has Miyamura by her side, assuring her that no matter what happens, he's going to stick by her side. Don't know what happened to Miyamura, but our man gets a surge of confidence. He confesses his feelings clearly, stunning Hori out of her illness immediately after he leaves. Well, now it makes me wonder if she was lovesick. As it seems, Hori is caught in a dilemma. Barely recovering from her illness, Sota spills tea about Miyamura hanging out with other women. It's absurd that rather than talking things out, she resorts to avoiding Miyamura. Women jump into conclusions. However, Miyamura refuses to go down without knowing Hori's response to his confession. Turns out that Miyamura's explanation, saying the girl is Shindo's girlfriend, makes everything worse. Of course, Miyamura has to show up at Hori's house for apology part 2. Fortunately this time around, she's calm enough to listen. And just when their conversation begins to get interesting, talking about Miyamura's confession, a burned out hobo-looking man disrupts the sweethearts. The man is Kyosuke, revealed to be Hori's father and a splitting image of Sota. Kyosuke is not the regular kind of responsible dad. Added to the fact that he pulls up to see his family while smoking a cigar, he seems pretty chill, and takes a liking to Miyamura, who Hori introduces as her boyfriend. On a completely different note, you will not believe that Sakura has developed some butterflies for Ishikawa. They seem like a good match, yeah? Yet, she has this outrageous mindset that her unpleasing appearance stands as a hindrance to her feelings. I mean, who wouldn't want a girl with glasses? That's super hot in my books. So Miyamura finally makes it to Hiro's family dinner. Kyosuke even goes as far as inviting Miyamura to share the room with him, and initiates some sort of father-son conversation, asking Miyamura what fascinates him about Hori. Kyosuke is taken aback by Miyamura's response that Hori doesn't judge people by their appearances. However, their conversation is cut short, and soon it's morning again. A new day means a new opportunity for gossip to fly within the walls of the school. Soon, news about the awkward boy and popular girl spread like wildfire after sightings of them were made, leaving the same house. Though, it's unfortunate that the excessive amount of negative talk seems to bother Miyamura, and the next time he shows up at school, he's a totally different and cooler person. Somehow, Miyamura managed to turn the narrative from the awkward kid to the hot guy who had been hiding his stuff, now having his desk swarming with the ladies. The new somewhat couple is in the process of getting familiar with each other, but it seems things are just about to get interesting when Miyamura steals his first kiss when he goes candy tasting with Hori, and the arrival of a new awkward girl, Sawada, who seems to be a massive stalker of the couple. Nobody expects the next turn of events. Scenes where the junior female student, Sawada, competes with Miyamura for Hori's attention are actually just crazy. And then the even bigger plot twist where Sawada and Miyamura are next door neighbors. Despite their Hori situation, Miyamura is pushed to sympathy for Sawada after finding out that she lost her big brother the previous year. He also goes as far as protecting Sawada from bullies while they wait for Hori's arrival. During one of the couple's private sessions, Hori is compelled to know why Miyamura never makes moves towards her. Well, we all know Hori, and immediately after her words, her face burns from embarrassment. And just when Miyamura closes in for her lips, you can count Kyosuke to be the prime minister for the interruption. That brings us to the end of today's recap on Horimiya Part 1. I hope you enjoyed this recap as much as I did. Please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and kindly comment below with your thoughts on this anime. If you would like a part 2 of this, also signify in the comments. Bye and thanks for watching. See you next time.